Why shouldn't we fall in love? Our hearts are made of it. Let's take a chance. Why be afraid of it? Let's close our eyes and make our own paradise. Little we know of it, still we can try to make a go of it. We might have been meant for each other, to be or not to be. Let our hearts discover.
Here at the Astronomy Village in Lake Arrowhead, and I'm here with Dr. Parker and Miss Dorothy. And they're here to answer some of our questions that we have about the Astronomy Village. So one question I have is, how many schools come here to visit the Astronomy Village annually?
Over the years, I would say our average is probably somewhere around individual schools or just the grade levels.
Just individual schools.
22, 23.
Awesome. Okay. Our next question is, what is it like running a nonprofit organization here in Lake Arrowhead?
A lot of work.
A lot of work.
And very rewarding.
Very rewarding.
Yes.
So,
And it takes a background, and you've had to have a job, so you understand what it is to answer a phone, and how to be polite to people, and how to explain yourself well.
of course.
And I think it makes quite a difference when you've already done that and then you practice it when you do nonprofit work.
Okay, so how do you guys fund for your guys' Astronomy Village Observatory?
Several ways. One, we have a gift shop. Two, we have membership. Universities can come do graduate studies here and use the telescope. We have funders that actually fund us on an annual basis. And what else do we do, Dorothy?
Well, our public programs,
Public
we
programs.
do require a ticket price for that. That's very reasonable.
Okay. Another question I have is, what kind of activities do you hold here for middle school and elementary?
We do our K through 12 programs, which has 26 different programs that we offer, everything from understanding the moon to navigating the winter sky. Most of it we can do from the classroom if we need to, because they're here during the day. Our telescope has actually 2 telescopes that are mounted in the observatory out there. One telescope is in use, and the other one is a solar telescope for safe solar viewing, where they can actually see a planet and or a star, whether they come during the day or the night. Yes. I'm a retired astrophysicist, and Dorothy is an art history major. And we were surprised as we became friends how the two relations are very similar in that she can see it, we can express it, and they can draw it. So it's been a really good relationship for many years.
That's awesome. Okay, my last question is, what kind of tips would you give young entrepreneurs that want to be in the astronomy field?
Try to get decent grades. They don't have to be a 4.0.
Okay.
Learn how to get along with one another. Get a job when you turn 16. Learn how to drive, and absolutely, positively listen to your parents.
Wow. Good tips, thank you. Why did you guys form a nonprofit organization here in Lake Arrowhead?
Well, we are serving the public in a very unusual way, and it does require nonprofit status to be able to collect donations and get support. Very important part of the game, but our real purpose is public education in the sciences and astronomy.
Okay.
If you get kids interested, they will pursue it because they'll find out that they can. This is a place where they can find out that they can. You don't have to be a genius to do science. You have to have an interest, you have to be disciplined, and you have to have stamina. And Dorothy in her degree program had to, and so did I. They were just different kind of programs. But I can describe something I see and not be able to express it well, and Dorothy can. She can draw it. She'll see things as an artist that I don't. It's really remarkable how you can bring in all disciplines into science. It's everything. It's math, it's history, it's geology. It encompasses all the disciplines. And we needed to put that here because we have gorgeous mountain skies. And people could actually see a star and see a comet when they come through, and the eclipses are beautiful. And Dorothy and I have been at this 30 years with one other person, a man named Dave Strutt. We formed this 30 years ago with other people. Some of them have passed away. And it's been really rewarding. And I really recommend for people, if they want to do something important in life, volunteer in your community to give back. It's important to do so.
Hopefully we can get Entrepreneur on that and have a field trip up here in the Astronomy Village.
I hope so. We look forward to meeting your group.
Awesome.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure
Very
meeting
much
you
so.
guys.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
This was our interview at the Astronomy Village with Dr. Parker and Miss Dorothy. Hi, I'm Jordan Ramirez. I'm a student of Entrepreneur High School, and I'm here with Mr. Laughlin. Thank you for taking the time to do this
Yeah,
interview.
my pleasure.
So if you don't mind, if we could ask you a couple questions?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, can you give us a brief history of Sky Park?
Yeah, so the original Santa's Village opened in 1955 before Disneyland and operated until about 1998. It changed hands a few times, but ultimately they shut down and the property was vacant for about 20 years. And so we got the property about 4 years ago and started the process of bringing it back to life with a little twist on things. And here we are.
That's so cool. So, you've been working here at Sky Park. Are there any like interesting facts that some people may know about Sky Park?
An interesting fact. So, the monorail that we saw outside was built in 1964, and it was actually it went to the World's Fair, and it was one of the original monorails that was the kind of testing bed for some future monorails that are pretty famous in New York and things like that. So here at the park, it was called the Bumblebee Ride, and it's been since retired, but it's a very, very famous ride at the park, and right now we're engineering a bicycle that goes around. So you'll be strapped into a bicycle and you'll race around the monorail tracks. So that's a new attraction that's coming soon. So
Wow.
yeah.
I can't wait for that then when I come back here. So what's your like biggest attraction here at Sky Park?
So it kind of changes seasonally. Right now, it's definitely mountain biking. So we get mountain bikers that come in from around the world. I met a group from New Zealand, and this is like their annual trip to go mountain biking. So right now, mountain biking is definitely our biggest attraction. For families, I would say Arrow's Adventure, it's pedal cars. So like what you saw is everything's kind of pedal-powered attractions and a lot of active activities. So that's very popular right now. And then as we transition to the holidays, by far Santa's the biggest attraction. So yeah, we get people from different countries all over Southern California come up here to see Santa and meet all the characters that hang out around the park and do the shows. But Santa's definitely the most popular.
Amazing. So because you said that there is different attractions that are busy at different like seasons. So what's your busiest season here at Sky Park?
Right now, it's definitely Christmas. So November, December is very, very busy. And then,
Holidays.
yeah, exactly. So, but what we're seeing now this year with our growth in the mountain bike industry, we're getting a lot busier. So the whole year's starting to really level out for us.
Wow. Okay. So what kind of events do you hold here at Sky Park?
So we do a lot of events. Everything from private weddings and private events all the way to concert series. So during the summertime, every Friday night we have a concert series. We have a new band that plays on the patio, and it's grown into a pretty large event, and so we get a lot of people coming up for that. We do mountain bike industry related events, so everything from a bike fest where we have booths around the park from different vendors. We have events in the fall, one called Pumpkins in the Pines, and it's more of like artisans, and it's more of a farmer's market type feel in the park. And
That's amazing.
so depending on the season, but we definitely, this time of year, are very event driven.
I like that. I like that a lot. So if you guys are really into like festive or every holiday event, you can come here at Sky Park. If there were young entrepreneurs that wanted to learn how to run an amusement park, or mainly just get the grasp of how to run a business, what kind of tips would you recommend to them?
I would definitely say, get in there wherever you can and learn about the business as much as possible. Definitely, continue your education. So for instance, like for myself, being hired on for security, I was going to school for marketing, and I kind of fell into the position, but the fact that I was in a different position before I was where I wanted to be kind of gave me a different perspective about the business and the park and the operations, how things are run. So you might not always get that first job that you want, but get your foot in the door and learn about it, and then just keep going to school and gain more knowledge, and eventually you'll know just about everything about the park. So
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you again for doing this interview.
yeah, my pleasure.
This was again our interview at Sky Park with Mr. Laughlin.
Yeah, thank you.
You should know that crisscross is not having anything today. As we stand here totally crossed out, we can make you jump, jump. The Mac Daddy make you jump, jump. Oh, Daddy Mac will make you jump, jump. Crisscross will make you jump, jump. Don't try to compare us to another bad little fad. I'm the Mac and I'm bad. Give you something that you never had. I make you bump, bump, wiggle and shake your rump. Cause I be kicking the flavor that makes you wanna jump. How high, real high, cause I'm just so fly. A young, lovable, huggable type of guy. And everything is to the back with a little slack. Cause inside out is wiggin' whack. I come stomping with something pumping to keep you jumping. R&B, rapping, bull crap is what I'm dumping. Ain't nothing soft about crisscross, we all at. So when the X do they rock, say believe it. Jump, jump. The Mac Dad'll make you jump, jump. A Daddy Mac will make you jump, jump. Crisscross will make you jump, jump. Jump, jump. The Mac Dad'll make you jump, jump. A Daddy Mac will make you jump, jump. Crisscross will make you jump, jump. I like my stuff knockin', knockin'. I love it when the girls be like jockin', jockin'. The DAWDYMAC. Yeah, you know me. I got you jumping and bumping and pumping, moving all around. G in the mix, I'm ready to 6-step back. They try to step to the Mac, then they got jacked. To the back, you be sporting your gears. That coincidental. And like you know it, don't be claiming that it's mental.